Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all safe and healthy. So today I'm here at the Porsche Center in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia to take a look at the brand new 2022 Porsche Cayenne. I had a lot of requests in my previous videos in comments that people wanted me to make a review with the Porsche Cayenne, and I tried to make it happen as soon as possible. So today I'm here. So in this video I'll be taking a look at everything that's new for the 22 model year, and I'll go through all the features of the Cayenne itself. And if you're new to the channel, by the way, do leave a like and also do subscribe to the channel as well, and do turn on your notifications so that you will be the first ones to know when I upload later videos. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the Cayenne. Alright guys, so here it is, the 2022 Porsche Cayenne. So in Saudi Arabia, let me tell you, we have quite a few different variants of the Porsche Cayenne itself, but unlike the international markets like the US and the Europe, we don't get the e-hybrid models here. So we only have this base Cayenne, then we have the Cayenne S, then we also have the Cayenne GTS, then the Turbo, and then the Turbo GT. The Turbo GT only comes in as a coupe, but all the others come in the standard format, or I mean the standard design and the coupe design as well. So this particular Cayenne is as you can see in carmine red, and I'll let you know all about the options and the price of this particular car. And let me just take you to the options list right over here. So as you can see, this particular Cayenne is the base model, so that means it comes with the standard 3-liter turbocharged V6 which has 340 horsepower and an 8-speed Tiptronic S transmission. And you can see all the optional equipments right over here. I hope you can just see it right. But as you can see all the options, we come down to the price. So the base price is 373,000 riyals, but due to the options fitted to this car, you can see options fitted and dealer fitted options are pretty costly. So altogether the price comes out to 536,303 riyals, which I'll convert it into dollars, and it is pretty expensive when you consider the base price is just 373. Most of the price or the final price is mostly comprised of options list, and that is something I think it's become somewhat of a meme in the car community, that Porsche will charge you extra for most of the anything basically, like if you want some seats or something like that. It's become a joke, but actually the thing is that many people in the European markets, they usually prefer not to buy things they don't use. So most of the time they use the options, or I mean they buy the options that they want, like they know that they'll be using. So that's why most of the German manufacturers, you can see, have that extra options list, and it's a type of an a la carte, so you can pick and choose whatever options you want. But people in the markets like the US and even in Saudi Arabia here, there is a bit of a difference. People usually prefer instead of having to go through each and every options, they just want one package which includes a lot of options itself as standard. So let me just tell you now the changes for the 22 model year. In terms of the exterior, there are no design changes. It's all the same as the last year's model, but they have reduced, or I mean they have removed one color option. I think it's called the lava orange, but many of you who want that paint option, you can obviously go through that Porsche to sample, or paint to sample, I mean PTS. Just keep in mind that PTS option is quite expensive though, so it might cost you quite a lot. If the lava orange was kept as standard, it might have cost you something like around $1,000, but maybe if you go through the PTS now, it might cost you even like $10,000. Who knows? It's Porsche. But let's talk about the design now. So the design of this Cayenne, or especially this generation of the Cayenne, is one of my favorite. I do like the overall design of the Cayenne compared to something like a BMW X5 and the Mercedes GLE and most of the competitors. I think it looks pretty athletic, but at the same time it doesn't look overly styled. Like it doesn't have too many lines and creases, which breaks up the design quite a bit, and then it makes it distracts you quite a bit basically, you can say. You can see the sides are nice and flat and rounded a bit, so that keeps the side design smooth, but at the same time the front bonnet or the hood has a bit of a creases, which makes it look sharp as well. But here you can see in terms of the bumpers, there is no change like I told you in terms of the design, but in some these options or the slats which you can see on the grille itself, these are currently in black. As standard they come in chrome, but if you want you can get them in black like this over here. Then we come to the headlights. So this one is not, these are not the standard headlights, these are the adaptive matrix LEDs, I believe, because of the design. And the Porsche design for the headlights are pretty cool, especially these 4 dots around, and they look pretty cool, especially at night. And down below you have another daytime running light, which also acts as your indicators. But I think that's about it. In the front, you do have a small front camera, but one more thing, this car does not have the adaptive cruise control option ticked, so that's why there is no radar here. If you tick that option, you'll get a radar sensor right over here. So let's move to the side now. And the side profile of the standard Cayenne is pretty good as well. I do like the coupe design, which you can see is right over there. I'll just zoom in for you guys. So that's the coupe shape design of the Cayenne. This is the standard Cayenne, and I personally prefer the standard design in most of the German SUVs or even the standard SUVs. I'm not a fan of the coupe, but the Porsche Cayenne coupe is something I can make an exception for. It does look good. But the side profile of the Cayenne, standard Cayenne, is also pretty nice, and it does look pretty good. Again, it does have an optional extra. The window surrounds, as you can see, are painted in black. As standard, I think they come in matte black, I believe. Then here you have the side mirrors, which have the body colored top, but the below is in matte black or plastic basically. If you want, you can get that body colored as well. So let's take a look at the wheels now. So these wheels are 21 inches in size, or the rims basically, and it has a 285 section tire in terms of the width, with a 40 series sidewall, and the brake caliper, I mean the rim, I told you, is 21 inches. This one is called the RS Spider design. So again, it's an optional extra. The standard Cayenne, like this one is the base Cayenne, comes with 19-inch rim. I think 20 inches, I think with the size, the 21 inch does look good, but do keep in mind these wheels, as you go up in the size, they do get expensive. Then again, this part you can see is body colored, and if you go for an unoptioned or very basic Cayenne, they don't, this is in plastic cladding, but this one has the extra option of making it body colored. You can see the cladding down below over here in the side skirt, so if you want, you can get that in body color as well. Then you have the door handles in body color, and up top you can see the panoramic sunroof. Then we come to the rear tire. So the rear tire is also the same, 21 inches, and in terms of the size though, it is bigger. So this one is 315 section tire, which is pretty nice and wide, with 35 series sidewall and 21 inch rim. So that's about it. Let's take a look at the rear design now. So the rear design of the Cayenne is one of my most favorites, because one of the main reason is that light bar. I do like how Porsche have designed it, so it goes all the way across the back and it looks really nice. And you do have some individual LEDs hidden in it, which all obviously act as your indicators. I'll just show you too. Here's the key, by the way. It's also painted in the same color as the SUV itself. You can see the shape, so you can press lock and there we go. So the indicator, I think, is hidden right here. Then we come over here to the Porsche badge, which is actually put inside this tail light and the cluster, and it's actually 3D, and that is something I like a lot. And plus currently you can see it's in chrome. If you want though, you can make it in black. Also, then you have the Cayenne badge here. Since this is the base Cayenne, you just have the Cayenne name. If you have the S, it will be S or GTS, whatever you want. Then down below, we do have the sport exhaust, and the bumper is in a plastic cladding. If you want, I believe you can get it in a painted bumper as well. Like the upper part will be in the body color, and you have some diffuser style design. Obviously it's not a real diffuser, but it's just there for design. And here you can see we have the sport exhaust system in silver surrounds. If you want, you can get a black surround as well. Then here, one more thing I forgot to show you, you have the camera. Okay, so let's take a look at the boot space of the Cayenne. And to open the boot, you have a button on the interior. If you have the option, you can also use a gesture, like you can put your foot or wave your foot over there and the tailgate will open, or you have the key. And as you press the trunk key, you can see the Porsche logo here lights up. There we go, and the boot opens up. So obviously electrically operated, and you can see it's a pretty nice huge square shape. So in terms of space, let me tell you, it has 656 liters, which is 23.1 cubic feet. And if you fold down the rear seats, or the second row of seats, you do get 1708 liters of space, which is like 60.3 cubic feet. Obviously, if you go for the coupe versions, that space will decrease, but I think overall that's the advantage of going with the standard Cayenne. You do get a lot more practical space when compared to the coupe. So in terms of features, you do have some storage nets over here, you do have some lights, and you do have some hooks and tethering points all around. And here you also have storage down below, so you can see we have the Bose speaker system, so that's why I think the subwoofer is here. But you also have a spare tire, and you do have some storage space right over there. You do have a scuff plate over here, so that whatever you load inside won't scratch the paintwork, so it will help you easily. And I think that's it in the rear boot space. Now let's take a look at what's powering the Cayenne. Okay, so let's take a look at the engine bay of the Porsche Cayenne. This is the base Cayenne, keep that in mind. So here's the engine bay. So the engine bay is pretty clean, nice and clean. The engine is obviously covered up by this plastic cover over here. So this base Cayenne comes with the 3-liter V6, which is a turbocharged model. It's a single turbocharged, by the way. If you go for the S, you do get a 2.9-liter V6, which is a twin turbocharged. Then you have the GTS, which gets the 4-liter twin turbo V8 with some 460 horsepower, something like that. And then with the turbo and turbo S, you have the same engine as the GTS but with more power. And the turbo GT obviously has a lot more power. It is the most powerful non-hybrid Porsche Cayenne. So this particular base Cayenne, or the 3-liter V6, produces 340 horsepower and has 450 Newton meters of torque. That's like 331 pound-feet, which is quite healthy for a base Cayenne as well. And from the reviews I have read, it is pretty good in performance as well. The engine is attached to an 8-speed Tiptronic S, not a PDK. The Cayenne comes with that Tiptronic S, I mean. It's pretty hard to pronounce, by the way. The PDK only comes on the 911s, I think also on the Panamera and the Macan as well, and also the Cayman and the Boxster. But this one has the Tiptronic S. So it's an 8-speed auto, and with that it obviously has 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. So together all that package moves this SUV, which actually weighs 2060 kilos. So this is the base model, so that's why 2060 kilos, which is like 4,540 pounds. And so altogether that package moves this SUV from 0 to 100 in 6.2 seconds. But if you have the Sport Chrono package, that 0 to 100 will be finished in 5.9 instead of 6.2. So I think most of you might go for the Sport Chrono package because it does come with additional options as well inside. Then the overall top speed of this car is 245 kilometers per hour, which I think is pretty respectable for an SUV this size. But I think that's about it in the engine bay. Okay, so that was all on the exterior of the Porsche Cayenne. Now what we'll do is head inside and take a look at all the interior features and what is new for the 22 model year as well. So, but before we go ahead and the interior, I just want to say, if you're enjoying the video, do leave a like and do subscribe to the channel as well, and do turn on your notifications so that you'll be the first ones to know when I upload later videos. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the interior. Okay, so before we head to the interior, I just want to show one small thing, and that is the fuel economy. I hope you can just see that. So it's an excellent in terms of the ranges. So 12.5 kilometer per liter. If you go for the GTS, that comes in very poor because it's a V8, it's a thirsty engine. But let's head to the interior now. And to head into the interior, this particular model does not have the Porsche Access, so you don't have the entry and exit system, that is the keyless entry. So you don't have that. For that you'll have to unlock it physically. And there we go. So let's see the interior now. And down below you can see we have the Porsche courtesy light, and that's an additional extra though. So let's talk about the door trim now. And the door trim, as expected from Porsche, is pretty nice. It's a nice high quality leather over here, and you can see the red stitching right over here. Then down below we have gloss black. You can get an aluminum or wood or even an carbon fiber trim right over here, and I highly suggest you do that because gloss black will get dirty, and obviously it will look pretty bad. Then here you have your nice door handle, and for 2022 they have changed all these buttons to matte black. Before they were all gloss black, but now all of these memory seat functions and the central locking buttons are in matte black. That is pretty good. Then here we have the red leather, which is again nice and soft and feels pretty high quality as well, by the way. Then you have that same black leather over here at the handrest with the red stitching, and you have your window controls right over here, and also this is the control for your tailgate and you have your side mirror controls as well. Then you have a nice chunky grab handle, which are again, I think it's wrapped in leather because it does feel pretty nice and soft. Then down below you can see we have the Bose speaker system. You can get a Burmester speaker system as well, but this one has the Bose speaker, so that's over here. And you can see the door storage space is also pretty good. Then let's take a look at this over here. So we have a Cayenne side sill plate. It's not illuminated, by the way. Then you have the seats. So these are the 14-way adjustable comfort seats. You can see we have the Porsche logo embossed over here, and you do have obviously nice and soft leather seats. They are, I believe, heated and ventilated as well. We'll check that out later on. And overall nice and soft. You can see the adjustments here. So this is to adjust the thigh rest over here. Then this is to adjust your height and obviously your seat back the way you wanted to push it back. Then this is for your backrest, and this is for your lumbar adjustment. So overall that's it. You do have your hood latch right over there, and over here we do have some controls. So these are your light controls. This is for start stop. So basically most of the cars do have the start stop button, but the Porsche, they give you a toggle like this, which I think is pretty nice. Then let's now take a seat inside and we'll see whatever the features are available inside. Okay, so we are here in the interior of the Porsche Cayenne. So again, like I told you, this is the 22 model year, and the only change in the interior is the infotainment display, which I'll show you. So right now the systems are turned off, and if you want to turn on the systems, all you have to do is switch the toggle to the right, and all the systems of the car turn on. So that's pretty nice. And you can see the system is turning on as well. It just takes a bit of time. I'll just start when that system turns on. Okay, so now all the systems are on, and let's take a look at all the functions that you have. So you have a central tachometer right in the middle, and you can see the surrounds are in the carmine red or Bordeaux red actually. Then you have two 7-inch displays right and on the either side, and you can control them via the scroll wheel over here. So this one has some navigation details, and you have your trip meter. Then this one you can control your you can see the information currently of all your oil temperature, battery and all that stuff. Then you can go to trip, then you can change to a full navigation display. Then you have some lap timer, then you have some G-force, then this looks like the all-wheel drive where it sends the power. Then you have tire pressure, and that's it. Then let's take a look at the dashboard quality, by the way. And you can also see the heads-up display itself right over there. So it's a nice and high quality heads-up display though, and the dashboard quality is nice and soft. So nice leather with the right stitching. And like I told you, this one has the Sport Chrono package, so you can see the dial right over here. Again, that has the Bordeaux red insert in it, and you can see the time and the seconds hand, which moves as well. Then on the side, like, these air vents do look pretty nice with the silver surround around them, and you do have some more gloss black trim around there, and you have the same leather all around. Then the steering wheel itself is nice and high quality. It's a pretty thin steering wheel, so it feels nice to hold. And you can see the surrounds are in silver as well. I think if you want, you can make that black. I'm not sure though. Then you have some pretty high quality paddle shifters, which are metal obviously. And you do have some light controls here. And then you do have your cruise control right over here. So it's the basic cruise control. It's not the adaptive, which uses the radars. And this is for your wipers. Then on the steering wheel itself, like I told you, this scroll wheel controls that. This one controls this display. These are for your volumes. This is for muting and going back. This is your favorite button, so you can assign any function to it. Then this is another back button, and this is for your call functions. So here you can see we have the drive mode selector. So you can go from, currently it's in 0. What does 0 mean? Okay, that's normal. Then you have sport, sport plus, and individual. And you can obviously press this middle button and you get a 20-second boost. That's for extra overtaking functionality, but that's it. Then let's come to the central screen, which is actually the main highlight for the 22 model year. So you have this central screen, which is the same, I think it's a 12.3 inch display. But what they have done is they have changed the full interface of the display itself. It has been taken from the Taycan, and they have added more RAM to it as well, because that allows it to process information faster and load stuff faster as well. And also the system starts up faster. But you have some tiles function over here, so you can go into car, you can change your drive modes. So you have off-road, you can change your ground stuff and everything. Then you have normal, sport, sport plus, individual. You can control all that stuff from here. You have your assistant, strip, comfort. You can adjust your ambient lighting. You can see the ambient lighting right over there. There is some ambient lighting over there as well. You can control all that from here, which I think is pretty nice. Then you do have the navigation display, which takes up the full display itself, which is pretty nice. Then you have your radio, phone systems, and again these are your vehicle settings. So what is new for 22 as well, in other than the interface, is that they have added more functionality, like they have integrated Apple Music and podcast, all that stuff. But Apple CarPlay is wireless, but they have also added Android Auto as well, but that is wired. Hopefully maybe in the next model year they'll add wireless Android Auto as well. But overall, that's all the change for the central display. Let's take a look over here. So you do have some air vents, which do have pretty nice and knurled controls over here. Then down below we do have the touch sensitive controls, which Porsche changed for this generation. Like basically in 2019 when this design came out, they totally changed the central console. They removed all the plastic buttons and added these touch sensitive buttons. So that will take you to your media. Then this is for your car settings, media, climate. So here you can see you can control the airflow as well, where you want it to go, or you can turn it off and on. Then this is, I think, for your I'm not sure what is this for. Yeah, this is for, I think this is for your media control as well. Then you have some options. Then off-road, you can do that from here. You have phone, assist, navigation, and you can set the destinations, all that stuff from here, which is pretty nice. Then here you have your climate control, so you can turn them on and off from here. The controls for it are pretty nice and knurled. Here is your volume knob, and you have your hazard buttons right here. This is the passenger side for the climate control. Then you have an auto rest feature, some more climate controls. So interestingly, this one does not have the heated and cooled or heated and ventilated seats. It does not have either of those. You can see we have the sport button or the display, which cannot be controlled as well. Then even the adaptive suspension cannot be controlled. You can just see that, but you can turn off the traction control if you want. That's all these functions which I'm showing you, which are blacked out or grayed out. That is actually an optional extra. Then here you have another auto function for your climate control, I believe. And then again for passenger side, heated and ventilated seats. This is again for your AC max. Here you have an individual drive mode button, which you cannot configure directly from there. Then you have an e-power, I believe. I hope you can just see that clearly. It doesn't show up though. Then you have another parking function or parking assist. Since this car does not have it, it is not light up. So a lot of blacked out buttons. So that means you'll have to go into the options list and add a lot more. Okay, so here you can see the gear selector. It is, I think it's in leather. Yep, feels pretty nice and high quality. If you want to go and drive, you do have a small button here which you press and go into drive, and then you have to go into reverse. You can go like that, and if you want to go into manual, you can just go into drive and then push it into manual. Currently the car is not on, so it won't go, but that's what I wanted to show you. Then you have your electronic parking brake here. You do have that same grab handle like on the door, so that is pretty nice, and it does not impede in the knee room as well, or even my thigh space. Here we have a small closable lid. As you can see, you can easily place your key there, and I think that's perfect for it. Then you have some cup holders here with a 12-volt socket, and they have the ambient lighting in them as well. Then you have a nice armrest, which is nice and soft with the red stitching, and you can see, let me just open it up, and this is your space. So you have a wireless charger, you have two USB ports, and that's about it. So up top you do have some controls. So your parking sensor controls are right here. So here you can see this is the standard front view. Then you can change it to like a 360-degree view as well. You can see all the corners, which I think is pretty nice though, and it looks pretty cool as well. High definition. The car is not in the system is not color matched to the car we have in actual. I think if they did that, it would have looked a lot better, but you do have a pretty high quality camera system as well. One more feature though, at the rear, if you turn the wheel, the camera itself swivels, but since the car is in the showroom, I cannot start it. But that's one feature though. So that's all the camera systems. Then up top you do have the controls for, I think this is for the lights, yeah, that's for the sun blinds. So then you have your parking sensors, then your rear lights, and this control, this is for the lights over here, so you can turn them on and off from here. You can see they're turned on, then you can turn them off. This control is for your sunroof. I don't think it's working currently for some. Yeah, there we go. That's your sunroof, and you can control it from there. Also, one more feature I forgot to tell you is that the voice assistant, you can say "Hey Porsche" and that will start up, and you can do all the controls for it. Even though I said "Hey Porsche," it didn't listen to me. But that's about it in the front. You do have some nice high quality visors though, with your LED lighting up top, with your vanity mirrors. And you can see the Porsches have the dual visors over here, so that's the way the visors are set up, which I think is pretty nice. Then let's talk about the space now. Okay, so now let's talk about the space in the Porsche Cayenne, and I have the driving seat in my preferred driving position. I'm 6'4" or 195 centimeters, and you can see I do have a lot of headroom. I am very comfortable here, and even in this comfort seats, I think I'm pretty comfortable. I don't have any problem with it, and the seat just moved back. I know that due to the car shutting itself off, but overall the car is very comfortable. And I think people below 6 foot, above 6 foot will be fine in the front, but let's see what the back seats are like, and if they are as comfortable as these seats in the front. Okay, so here we are at the back seats of the Porsche Cayenne, and first things first, let's take a look at the door trim. You do have electric sun blinds though, which come up to cover the sunroof, or I mean which come up to cover the window itself to block from the sun. Then you have the same leather material up like in the front door trim with the red stitching. You have the same black gloss black with the nice door handle and the locking itself. Then here you can see we have the same leather material, red leather, and it's nice and high quality. And here you can see the black armrest with the black leather armrest with the red stitching as well, with the same design on the door handles as well. Then you have that same Bose speaker system with some decent amount of door storage. You do have a Cayenne steel plate at the back as well, and the seats themselves look pretty nice and high quality. They do mimic the design in the front, and you do have your access to ISOFIX, and that's about it. If you do want to fold the seats down, you do have the latch over here. You can just fold down the seats, and you can see they lay down flat, so you do get a lot of space. But I think that's it for the Cayenne now, and I think we should just jump inside and take a look at this space over there. Okay, so I'm in the back seats of the Porsche Cayenne, and one thing I am liking over here is the space. And currently the front seat is set to my driving position. Like I told you, I am 6'4" or 195 centimeters, and I do have an okay amount of knee room. I think I'll be okay for a long journey. I won't have much problem. But that means like if someone below 6'4" is sitting in the front, you do get a lot of space. So that is pretty impressive that two 6'4" guys can sit behind each other. So that is pretty nice. Then you do have some air vents over here, and you do have a light here as well. Currently the car is off, and you do have grab handle, which is surprisingly pretty high quality, and you have a coat hook here as well. Then among some features on the seats, you do have some aeroplane style seat back pockets, which are pretty high quality as well. That's the theme actually overall in this Porsche. Everything you touch is high quality, so that is, I think, pretty good. Some manufacturers, they like the Mercedes GLS that I reviewed last week. This seat back pocket cover was very flimsy, and I didn't expect that in a Mercedes though. But Porsche have taken care of that here as well. Then here you do have the climate control system. Currently the car is off, but you do have a 2-zone climate control, and if you have the seat heating options, you can control that from here as well. You do have that same high quality knurled finish all around. Then let's take a look at the armrest. So the armrest is nice and soft. One thing I don't like though, that the armrest, the cup holders are in the middle, which can actually get into your elbow space over here, which is actually a bit irritating. They could have hidden it neatly over here, which I think would have been better. But I think that's it. And in terms of the headroom, I'll just show that to you. So the headroom, you can see currently I'm sitting in the rear. I think one more thing I forgot to tell you, the seats are reclinable, and I have it in its most rear position. And you can see I have a decent amount of headroom even with the glass roof, and I'm pretty comfortable, even though my head is slightly touching this part over here, but I think that's okay. I can just move myself a bit in this inside, and I'll be pretty okay and comfortable over here. But overall, I think that's it for the Porsche Cayenne. So guys, that was the video on the Porsche Cayenne. Hope you enjoyed it a lot. And what do I personally think of the Cayenne itself? The Porsche Cayenne is one of my favorites among all the competitors. It has like the BMW X5, the GLE, etc. And the reason I like it is because the design of the Porsche is one of the best, and it looks purpose built like a sports SUV. It's not something that it was a normal SUV first, then they turn it into a sports SUV. It was a sports SUV from the start itself. That's why the driving dynamics of the Porsche Cayenne is one of the best as well. So I think the base Cayenne is plenty enough if you add the right options, and don't make it too expensive as well. If you add just the right amount of options that are necessary to you, the base Cayenne I think is more than enough. It has plenty of power, and you will be happy all around. But if you do need more power, Porsche definitely has a lot of options. You have the S, GTS, Turbo, Turbo GT. So if you have the money to spend, you can go as high you want. But I think the base and the Cayenne S are the sweet spots, and you should definitely do check them out or test drive them as well. Today unfortunately I couldn't test drive the Cayenne, but maybe in the future some other Porsche I might. So for that, do stay tuned and do subscribe to the channel as well. Do like the video and also turn on your notifications so that you'll be the first ones to know when I upload later videos. So thanks for watching guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video.